Thank you, everybody. Welcome back to Rock and Roll Psychic Radio. We are talking about past lives with S.Riseley. And Stephanie, before the break, we were talking about the therapeutic sort of aha moment, epiphany that happens with people. And you're talking a lot about the way the brain functions. So it's interesting to me looking at intuition and the cognitive, aspects of how the brain impacts that. In your work, in your academic work, what do you see as that connection? Is there anything that has come out for you in terms of brain research or things like that that impact the way people might relate to a past life regression? Is that a fair question?
Oh, well, it's brilliant because it actually it's almost as if the science world and the alternate world are beginning to meet in the middle. There's a wonderful website called Heart Math, and there's a wonderful talking about how your brain has a certain weight on your body, but the heart has 27 times more neuroreceptors than is going on in your brain. We're really very heart driven. So understanding the brain is so essential. There's a wonderful book by Antonio Damasio called Self Comes to Mind. He's a researcher at SC, and one of his PhD students was my client. So she has a PhD in neuroscience, and she came to me to solve some problems of hers. So does she know her brain? Oh, yes. I have a lot of clients who are doctors. I know that sounds odd. I have a lot of clients who are therapists because I give them a way in which to use the science to reprogram their brain, to flip that. Antonio Damasio is where I got the wiring thing of flipping your brain from poopy brain, which is our default mode, into puppy brain, feeling enthusiastic. And because at the base of our brain, we all have this little amygdala thing that's the fight and flight response, but it's like a big spider with long tentacles. And the tentacles are attached to our entire nervous system. So if it goes on red alert, which it does whenever I open the newspaper, I was a political science major at Berkeley, so I am a news junkie. But literally, when we went back into Iraq, I had to stop the New York Times and the LA Times because I could feel that it was just firing my brain, and I didn't have the RAM to run in my brain to use it. So I calm myself down, and I get my client. A lot of people come to me with nervous disorders, and helping them understand the source of the nervous disorder, helping them understand the way to heal it by using essentially cognitive behavior modification, awareness therapy, and narrative therapy, which is what past life regressions boil down to. You make a story of your life where you are the hero of your own thriller or your own comedy or your own romance novel. I mean, I'm now addicted to Outlander on Starz, and Diane Garavan's series of books. They're bodice rippers, they're softcore porn, but they're based in history, and they're just charming. But I would like that kind, I would like that for my next life. Romance, of course, it's a little too exciting for me. But anyway, everybody, if you can see your life as your own production, and to see yourself as your own, you are the star of your own production, and you get to choose the ending. The work I do allows people to become the hero of their own life and to die proud. I mean, really, that's my goal, is to get people to make a difference with the life they're living now and not feel powerless. Everybody can make a difference, even if it's just showing up at the local garden and planting bee plants. I mean, I'm obsessed with the bees right now, because the bees are dying out. And if the bees die out, and the bees are dying out because of all the pesticides and because we've cut down all of their just like the butterflies are dying out because we've cut down the things they eat on their way down to Mexico. They fly, bless their hearts, the monarchs, from someplace up in Canada all the way down to Mexico. And they're just little butterflies. Aren't they amazing? So,
they're like, amazing. And, I've written a book a few years back called The Metaphoric Mirror. And the Metaphoric Mirror was based on using mass and different stages of alchemy to do kind of what you're talking about, which is to look at the way of using metaphor and theater as a catalyst to try and understand yourself. Because I think, that's what great art does for us, right? I mean, we project ourselves into that situation, whether that's Tolstoy or Dickens or Shakespeare, whoever. We can identify with that emotional progression. I mean, to me, that's what reincarnates is a style to deal with things and process things emotionally. To me, that's what keeps coming back, and that's, as for me as a clairvoyant, that's kind of the foundation from where I work. We've only got about 5 minutes left, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to hang with us. I mean, I'm sure that Zita's had a great time with this. I've also had a fabulous time. And Stephanie, before our hour ends, one more time, please let people know how they can contact you. Give them your website once again and let them know kind of your availability in terms of working with you from a client standpoint.
It's Stephanie, Stephanie, Riseley, RISELEY.com, and you can just email me from there. Go to that, and also please go to Amazon and check out my book. It's called Love from Both Sides: A True Story of Soul Survival and Sacred Sexuality. It tells the story of my husband dying in my arms, coming back from the in-between, chatting, having wild sex, and then leading me into the work that I was meant to do. And I now know that was the work that I was meant to do, because it's like everything has fallen into place, and I'm happier than I've ever been. And at 67, I realized that I've made it this far. They told me I was going to die by the time I was 25, so it never occurred to me I would get to be this old. And now that I'm this old, it occurs to me, oh my God, what if I have to live another 30 years? I better start taking really good, much better care of my body. So, anyway, that's what I get everybody to do. Take care of this body, make a difference, and so that you can feel good about yourself and be happy. Because it's like, this is the life you're living. And accepting the life you have is the first step. in getting happiness.
No, I mean, I agree with that totally. And what's interesting, too, is because when I look at you, as I said earlier, I see a very strong religious. To me, that's the primary theme. And you're looking into your karmic fig leaf is the religious orientation, much more than the healer. I mean, they're tied together, but there's a spiritual. And you kind of have, your resume has got a lot of religious jobs in there, to me. And what's interesting, too, is that religious aspect and the healer aspect oftentimes takes a very sort of instinctive, primal, sexual kind of energy, which, when you, lots of times people think of them as disconnected, but ultimately when you really start bringing in that fully integrated person, that sense of spirituality and that sense of physicality are often very intimately linked. So you're kind of an embodiment of that.
I think you're so right, and I'll go back to the goddess-worshipping religions, which were just joyously sexual, the way, because sex was such a celebration of life. I get actually, people have asked me, do you ever get jealous of the past life regressions? And I go, there are, when when people are in the islands, in the, like Tahiti or something, those lives, they're just unbelievably fun. And they're so wildly sexual and joyous, and the sense of community, the sense of every child is sacred, and everybody's connected, and there's, every so often there's somebody who is out of sync. But I mean, I love it when I say, look at your feet, and they say, I'm in sand, I'm on an island. I go, oh good, we're in one of those lifetimes.
When I kind of look at my own sort of past life tree, when I look at the place where I've had the most fun, that's the Middle East. So when I think of like Iran or places like that, I look back and go, I had a good time there once.
But those are the goddess-worshipping religions started there in Ur and on the Tigris. That is the cradle of civilization, and the Sumer religion, the Sumerians, and all of that. Oh, well, there we go. But anyway,
there we go.
Things
well,
change.
I want to thank you once again. Plus, on a personal note, I kind of like hanging out with you. You're fun to talk to, just in general. And I certainly appreciate you taking the time to share your wisdom and your passion with us this evening. Is there anything you want to say before we go on to the break?
No. I'm just going to go and walk my body and come back, eat dinner, and then, as I said, we can't get away from death and taxes. And I finished my taxes, and I called my accountant, who, when I did his past life regression, I got a poet accountant, and when I did his past, he's so sweet. He's been my accountant for 30 years. He literally jumped out of the chair and goes, I'm strong. And there he was, this gigantic man. So, but now he's a poet and accountant. And you never know. Yeah, you never know. So call me when you're in town. Let's go do dinner or something, okay?
That would be fabulous. There's a good chance I can do my little Andini Gypsy tour starting at the end of next month. So Los Angeles is sort of on my jet stream, so I would like to go. What part of LA are you in? What part of the city are you in?
I'm in South Carthay. I'm in South Carthay, which is near LACMA, the museum, just to the south. And it's a historically preserved area. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood now. The sun's just setting. So I'll go walk my body, and you'll get to talk to Megan, who also lives in LA here. And it's like people have
beautiful women in LA.
Well,
it's a terrible life.
You have to be beautiful. You have to be beautiful in LA. They won't let you be here. They won't. I kept, when I was up in Esalen, I kept walking up to all the women who had white hair and gray hair and go, how did you get that? How did you do that? And then when I got back to LA, and I told because I have totally white hair, I told everybody that I was going to let my hair go white, and they said, no, you're not. No, you're not. But people have this. Everybody's got a fear of being naked on stage. With the last show that I did.